This male student is Nagumo Hajime. He is an ordinary and bullied student, in which, the person who bullies him the most is Daisuke. The reason this young man bullies Hajime is because of this friend. Her name is Shirasaki Kaori. She is known as one of the two goddesses at school, but for some reason, she loves talking to Hajime. This makes Daisuke very itchy. Miss Aiko entered the classroom to prepare for the new year, when a light appeared and brought the class to a palace. They learned that the god had brought them here with the mission to destroy the demon race and prevent the destruction of humanity. The Royal Knight instructs everyone to see a status bar that shows each person's strength stats, and these stats will increase as they train. The destiny of each person will determine whether they can fight or not. Our male protagonist Hajime received the title of alchemist with very mediocre stats. It seems that Hajime is just an ordinary person wherever he is. Hajime woke up in a rather deep level of the maze with Orcus. When he was trying to find his way back, he encountered a rabbit monster. Just when it was about to kill him, a large bear appeared behind him, causing it to run away. But the bear only used one blow to finish off the rabbit easily. It advanced to eat its prey, causing the Hajime to run away in fear. But that's what made it discover you. Its attack caused the bridge to sever his left arm. In danger, Hajime used his ability to transform the terrain to create a cave to hide in. But due to the loss of so much blood, he passed out. When he woke up he saw the Holy Stone, a type of mineral created by the accumulation of magic over hundreds of years. The holy water it releases gyps heals wounds and replenishes magic power instantly. Hajime burst into tears because of his weakness. Back 7 days ago, when entering the 20th floor of the labyrinth, Hajime almost lost his life fighting a monster. Fortunately, Cookie with the title of a hero appeared in time to destroy the monster. Daisuke went over to make fun of the Hajime, but when he saw that Kaori was interested in the Hajime, he showed a very bitter expression. Seeing that Kaori seemed to really like the sparkling crystal, Daisuke burst into tears to get her things down. As soon as they touched the stone, a strong red light flashed, teleporting everyone to the 65th floor. This is the floor of the demon Behemoth, an extremely powerful demon. The leader of the Meld group summoned to the holy place to protect everyone, but it was useless against the demon's power. Hajime stood up to create a wall to let Kaori run ahead. Everyone in the back supported the attack on the monster so he could escape. Suddenly someone attacked him, causing the Hajime and the monster to fall below. Returning to the present, Hajime, after recovering his stamina, set a trap to destroy 2 wolves and then ate their flesh to maintain his life. The toxin in their flesh caused him great pain. Fortunately the holy water helped him survive this time. His body began to change, his hair became white, and his stats increased dramatically. He also acquired the skills of wolves. Thanks to his alchemy, he used minerals to create a gun and slay the rabbit with a single shot. He named this gun Donner. After eating the rabbit, his stats continued to increase, and he also gained 2 new skills. Gaining strength, he set out to find the monster to avenge his arm. With the rabbit's teleportation and air power, he easily shot off the bear's arm. After making a piece of meat from that hand and drinking holy water, his ability increased dramatically, thanks to which he can destroy it easily. After that, he resolved to return alive. Anyone who stopped him, he would kill them all. In the cave, Hajime ate a lot of bear meat but it didn't seem to be enough to increase his strength anymore, so he decided to go down to the next floor so he could find his way out. A gecko monster appeared and used petrification on him. Fortunately he had holy water and was able to neutralize its magic. With his ruse, he successfully blinded it and finished it off with a single shot. He then conducts a monster slaying on each floor he passes through. The knights returned to the king and reported everything. The king ordered the group to keep the Hajime sacrifice a secret so as not to disturb the hearts of the people. In the evening, while practicing swordsmanship, Shizuku accidentally discovered that Daisuke was hiding something, saw his strange expression, so she began to suspect that he was the one who harmed the Hajime. Back to our amputee, he had also gone 50 floors since falling into the abyss. In front of him is a mysterious door. He approached the gate to use his ability to open it, when a flash of electricity caused him to step back and 2 monsters guarding the gate also awakened. Hajime took down one of them with a simple shot, the other one with a bit more difficulty was defeated by him. So the 2 jewels on them are the key to open the gate. Inside is a blonde lowly girl, who says she was betrayed by her uncle. She is a pure-blooded vampire. The girl begged the Hajime with all her might, wishing to be freed. Hajime didn't have the heart to ignore those hopeful eyes, so he rescued her. Since he didn't have a name, he named her Yu. The little girl happily rushed over to hug Hajime. Suddenly from behind, the incoming attacks pierced Hajime's body. After using holy water to treat the wound, Hajime discovered a large scorpion on the cliff. He carried Yu on his back and rushed to fight it. However, its shell was so hard that his bullets couldn't penetrate it. During the intense combat, Mrs. Yu got hungry and asked for some blood from the Hajime. He tried to use his ability to control the terrain to let you eat and drink freely. After eating and drinking, you used high-level magic to seriously injure the monster. Hajime, seeing its weakness exposed, jumped up and shot the monster several times and successfully defeated it. In the evening, while the two were having a meal, you told him that this labyrinth was actually created by rebels against the gods, so the possibility of them finding their way back was very high. Hajime then used the monster's shell to create a powerful anti-tank gun, naming it Schlegen. On the way down below, you heard the whole story of Hajime and burst into tears as she saw that he had been through so many bad things. Because the girl had nowhere to go, he asked to take her home with him. Hajime carried you to the next floor when he was chased by a group of monsters. He suspected that the flower parasitic on their heads was the cause of the monster's madness. The two of them had to hide in the rock crevices to cut off their tails. Countless green sprouts flew around them. You had one of them cling to her head and control her to attack the Hajime, but he dodged all of them. The real monster name just appeared now. It controlled the you, which made Hajime hesitate. Its sprouts cling to the Hajime's head, but since it has antibodies from eating monsters, its sprouts have no effect on him. You believed in Hajime, so she told him to just let her go and shoot the monster, so the Hajime didn't hesitate to deliver a precise blow that smashed the flower on Yu's head and the monster's arm. Next, he gave him a copper candy and sent him off to meet the king of hell. At night, Hajime continued to eat monster meat and then became dinner for this lovely lowly vampire too. The two then continued to descend to the lower level of the labyrinth. Finally the two of them reached the 100th floor since he fell here. They discovered a very large door. After going inside, a magic circle appeared that brought a huge monster. From the size of the circle and the monster, Hajime thought that this might be the end of this puzzle, a dragon with many heads, each head having its own attribute attack based on its color. Hajime and you counterattacked, wounding two of them. However, the white head used its power to heal them. The two decided to attack the first white one, but were stopped by the yellow one. After a while, you was hypnotized by the black head. In the illusion, you saw Hajime left in the dungeon, so she screamed. Hearing his little wife's voice, Hajime ran over and freed her from danger. Hiding behind the cliff, Hajime gives you a sweet kiss and says that he will take you back to his hometown after he leaves this place. Then Hajime used the anti-tank gun to successfully wipe out the three heads in an instant. Yu's turn, she used high-level magic and also successfully smashed the remaining three heads. The seventh head suddenly appeared. It unleashed a powerful blow towards the exhausted Yu. Hajime saw this and rushed to block her. The gun in his hand crumbled and Hajime also fell. You used her domain to put holy water into his mouth, then she picked up Hajime's pistol and charged at the dragon, but the dragon was too strong. Soon you lost the strength to fight. It delivered a decisive blow towards her. In a situation where thousands of pounds were hanging by a hair, Hajime succeeded once again in saving Yu's life. Then, with his extremely fast speed, Hajime successfully dodged all of its attack posts, then placed bombs on the ceiling and fired at them, causing them to explode, controlling the monster. After you recovered, she used her strongest attack, lightning, creating a power that destroyed the monster. After the battle, the two fell asleep because they were exhausted. Changing the scene, Hajime woke up on a soft bed with a naked beauty beside him. It turned out that this was the residence of the rebels left behind. After the fight, Hajime fainted. The next door of the labyrinth opened, so it was you who brought him here. The two of them continued to explore and discovered a room with a skeleton on a chair. When the Hajime entered the circle in the middle of the room, many pictures of the past appeared. Next, an image of the Orcus appeared. He was also the one who built this great labyrinth. On the side of the Royal Knight Squad and the Hajime's classmates entered the 65th floor again after a long period of hard training. The monster that fell with Hajime last time appeared again. However, due to mental preparation and hard training, everyone's strength is now much different than before. They worked well together and successfully defeated the mighty monster. Hajime was now empowered by the Orcus's spirit in the hope that he would not do evil. A copy of the information was transmitted directly into his brain. Hajime also learned that they were the liberators against the madness of the gods. Through research, he learned that his ring is the key to open the door to leave here. Thanks to a document, he learned that when he passed all the great labyrinths, the way back to Earth would be opened. So he decided to stay and learn everything before leaving. 2 months passed. Hajime built himself a prosthetic arm, created a vehicle, and upgraded one of his pink stone eyes. Weapons are also upgraded to the most advanced version. Then Hajime took out a ring and proposed to you. After all, the couple decided to leave there and return to the surface. At the exit of the labyrinth, the rabbit-eared girl is waiting for her savior. Suddenly a monster chases her away. Right at the moment of danger, Hajime and you teleported to create an earthquake, causing the monster to turn and run away. The fox-human girl rushed to hug Hajime, begging him to save her clan. You tried to pull the girl out to call her husband. After a while, Hajime also agreed to help her. Her name is Shirei, the daughter of the head of the fox people. Unlike the other beast kin, this girl can use magic and has the ability to foresee in the near future. That would explain her waiting for Hajime in this place. Yu also agrees to let this girl come along since she is a native so she can lead the way, but Yu freezes Shirei so that she can't rush to hug her husband anymore. On the way to the village of the fox people, they killed a lot of monsters and the bait was this lovely rabbit. Since her whole village is not capable of fighting, Hajime will teach them how to hunt monsters. From people who have a pair of cute rabbits that this god taught them to become a bunch of killer rabbits. After teaching them fighting skills, Hajime decided to say goodbye to them and set off to conquer other labyrinths. Yu had promised Shirei that he would take her with him, so Hajime had to let this nimble rabbit go with him. At the Gorge, Shirei discovered the entrance to the Risen Great Labyrinth. Entering inside, Hajime easily shot down all the traps that rushed in, while Shirei was scared to piss her pants. She looks so weak, but possesses a tremendous physical strength. With only one tonic, the blackstone steel was crushed. Some huge rocks were also smashed by her. However, after a while, the three of them returned to the same place. Next, the three of them went to a room that was supposed to be Raisin's former residence. The armors naturally moved, approaching to attack them. After overcoming them, the three people jumped on the elevator and discovered a supergiant boss. It introduces itself as Raisin. In order to get the ancient arts, it must be defeated first. So they all rushed forward to attack it in the face, but the hard armor made of Azantium still kept it steady. It counterattacked, causing Hajime to hug the two beauties and run away. Next, Hajime hit it causing it to fall. You used ice magic to immobilize it so that the Hajime stuck a stake in its body. Just waiting for that, Shirei jumped up and successfully smashed the pole's wing with a hammer. Destroy it. Entering the gate, everyone discovered that Raisin's real body looked like a happy ghost. After eating one tonic from Shirei, it stopped doing nonsense and handed over the ancient magic. This was a magic that only Yu was suitable for. Having obtained the ancient arts, Hajime felt it wasn't enough so he plundered quite a few more gems. The ghost then pushed the three of them across the floodway. The three of them, after disembarking, immediately went to find an inn. Trouble happened here. Both girls wanted to stay with Hajime. Killing girls was too painful. The next day, the three meet Ilwer Chang, the head of the Furin Guild. He gave them a quest, and teamed up with him to help them get the adventurers' travel documents. Their mission is to rescue the son of an earl. In the town of Or, teacher Aiko is helping the villagers with their crops. During lunchtime at the inn, she accidentally recognized Hajime's voice, couldn't help it, so Hajime had to tell the whole story to the girl. The other two girls both introduced themselves as Hajime's wife. He retorted that only Yu was his wife, and that Banana Rabbit was not. Before he could explain further, the teacher got angry and scolded him once. One of the royal knights went to talk to them because he ate with a beast man. He threatened to cut off Shirei's ears and all, so Hajime gave him a copper candy. This guy dares to ruin this boss's meal. At night, Hajime comes to the girl's room and tells her all the truth that he knows. The gods use creatures and war as their entertainment. Some people realized that and formed a liberator to fight their gods. But the gods labeled them traitors and turned the people against them. They couldn't take action against the innocent people, but the key member hid and built the labyrinth. Those who pass through the labyrinth will receive their power in return. Before leaving, Hajime revealed that at that time someone intentionally attacked him causing him to fall and sent a warning to his Kaori friend to be careful. Early the next morning, Hajime was on his way to leave when Aiko and her friends stopped him and asked to come along. Because he couldn't refuse, he summoned his car and sent them all up there. Going to a forest edge, Hajime used a spy plane and discovered traces of a battle. The group went to see it and discovered an extremely large monster footprint. When they went into the water, they discovered Win, the eldest son of the Earl. Win recounted the whole incident in tears because the crew was the only one who survived when the crew was ambushed by a black dragon. On the way back, that black dragon appeared. In the moment of danger, Hajime created a shield to protect everyone. The three people of the Hajime group rushed to attack but still failed. It wasn't until you stood up to protect everyone that Hajime was now able to freely attack the dragon. Shirei also rushed up to give it a hammer to the head that made it faint, realizing the dragon's weak point was the lack of protective scales, so he drove the stake into it. The heavenly stab made the dragon cry and beg because when it runs out of mana it will transform and it will change back to human form, so it begs the Hajime to pull that stake out. The black dragon said everything was controlled by the man in the black robe while it was sleeping. He used dark magic to control it to kill people. Hajime was about to kill it but Yu stopped him. He had to listen to his wife to pull out the stake, and the dragon turned into a beautiful girl. The girl introduced herself as Tio Claris, a member of the Claris family of the dragon race. At that moment, Hajime noticed that the demon army was heading towards our village, so he went back to rescue them. He led the people to build a lead city against the monsters, and women, the elderly and children were evacuated to a safe place to avoid casualties when the battle broke out. At night, Hajime was adjusting his gun when Tio appeared. She claimed Hajime as her master and promised to be effective in battle. As soon as the battle started, Tio was given one by Hajime. Magic ring for battle, and she thinks Hajime proposed to her before the battle. Hajime and the others tried to launch an attack that annihilated the monsters from afar, causing them to do countless damage, but after a while Tio was exhausted and fell asleep. Hajime's Hot 8 gun was also out of ammo. He decided to join Shurei in close combat with the monsters. Under Yu's support, the two successfully overpowered the enemy formation and captured the black-robed man. He is his classmate named Shimizu. Because of his thirst for power and self-expression, he made a contract with the demon. The Aiko tried to convince her, but Shimizu persisted and overpowered her. The poison needle had also pierced her neck. Shurei rushes to save Aiko, but out of nowhere, a beam of light hits both Shurei and Shimizu. Hajime pulled out his gun and shot a sneak attack but must have escaped. He ran to the teacher and gave her holy water by his crown. Shurei was also watered with holy water to heal her wounds. Shimizu on this side was dying, begging Hajime to save him. But Hajime realized that the guy's eyes were the eyes of an untrustworthy person, so he gave him 2 copper candies. Down in the sewers, the traffickers are gloating about catching a mermaid lowly girl. After handing over Win to the leader of the Hunters Guild, the team was compensated with the title of Gold Level Adventurer, accompanied by a certificate card. The next morning, while taking Shurei for a walk, Hajime's sensor had a signal. Carefully sensing it, he realized that the signal was signaled from the ground. He went down and successfully rescued the late mermaid girl. This mermaid girl's name is Miu. According to her words, she lost her mother and was captured by a group of human traffickers. Miu was taken to the knights for protection, but she refused and sobbed. What she really wanted right now was to go with Hajime. Not long after he left, an explosion occurred, and when the Hajime returned, the knights had already been killed. The traffickers also left a message with the intention of targeting Hajime's rabbit, but they didn't expect that this time they had touched the wrong person. When fighting a criminal, Hajime accidentally ran into the other 2 wives, so he invited them to fight with him. As a result, all the criminal gangs in the city were visited by the dead family. Miu is being auctioned off by criminals. At that moment, Hajime appeared and destroyed him. Then he lifted her up in the air to watch the criminal organization be wiped out. She immediately called Hajime Papa because she had lost her father since birth. The next day, the whole family of the amputee continued their journey. They went to see Loabawavis to bring a letter of introduction from Ilwer Chang. Suddenly, an invisible person appeared reporting that a demon race appeared in the Great Labyrinth. It turned out that it was Endo, a classmate of Hajime. After he recognized the Hajime, he ran to beg Hajime to save everyone, and then he told the incident that happened in the Orcus Labyrinth. The members of the night squad met a demon with red hair. She summoned monsters to attack them, more formidable than every time the monsters were injured. The bird on the demon female body returned. Treat them. Realizing that the situation was not right, Shizuku told Endo to use his invisibility to return to him to save everyone. Back to the present, the guild assigned Hajime to rescue everyone, but Hajime said that he would not join this mission, because they were simply people from the same world as him. On the side of the knights, Cookie successfully defeated 2 monsters and slashed at the demon woman once. He was about to finish her off when he stopped when he saw a picture of her with his lover. Just waiting for that, she summoned a demon that sent Cookie flying. Endo knelt down and begged Hajime to save everyone, but he hesitated, until he recalled the beautiful images of his friends in or village that he agreed to help. Shizuki was engaged in fierce combat with the monster, but her sword was unable to withstand the monster's attack and broke in half. In an extremely dangerous situation, a stake suddenly fell down and stuck directly into the monster's head. Hajime appeared coolly behind the dust. After helping the wives and daughters to land safely, they began to rush into the monsters. Everyone gasped at the Hajime's Dhyana skills. The gun in his hand fired every time a monster lay down. Accurate shots and flexible bodywork allowed him to hide from the monsters. The female demon's bird was also defeated by his overwhelming strength. Cookie until now still couldn't believe that in front of him was the weak Hajime. The scum Daisuke now felt extremely afraid of the power of the person he had intentionally killed before. Hajime is already that strong, but his wives are not average. Each of them showed tremendous strength. Right when Shizuku and Kaori were in danger, Hajime gave Shizuku a sword made of rare minerals. With just a few attacks and a fine sword, the swordsman girl successfully defeated the monster. The female demon now used high-level magic on Hajime to escape but was disguised by him. Hajime's body is now immune to all types of magic. After that, he decisively defeated the female demon with an expressionless face. Kaori burst into tears because Hajime was alive and rushed to hug him, making the wives jealous. At the exit of the labyrinth, soldiers were already waiting to escort all the heroes back. Kaori decided to approach Hajime and others and begged him to let her follow. She also revealed her feelings for Hajime all this time. The first wife doesn't want Kaori to go with her at first, but later changes her mind, wanting all the girls who follow her to know that her love for Hajime is greater than anyone else's. So our season 1 is over. Thank you for watching the episode.